All right, let's talk about something I think a lot of us feel, but maybe don't always have the words for. It's those seasons of life where, I don't know, it just feels like you're on the sidelines, right? Things have gone quiet. Well, today, we're going to try and reframe that quiet. We're going to see if we can uncover the powerful purpose that might be hidden right inside of it. So let's just start with this question right here. Have you ever felt unseen? I mean, really unseen? It's that feeling, isn't it? Like you're being totally overlooked, almost invisible, even when you know you're putting in the work. It's such a universal feeling, and honestly, it's the perfect place for us to start this whole conversation. And maybe some of this stuff just hits home for you. Like you're the person doing all the behind the scenes work, and crickets? No acknowledgement? Or maybe it's that your life has started to feel, I don't know, really narrow, almost small. It can feel like everything you're doing just goes completely unnoticed, or maybe you're just plain stuck in a really difficult transition. Look, if any of that is ringing a bell, then you are definitely in the right place. Okay, so let's just dive right into this feeling head on. Section 1 is all about what to do when you feel overlooked. You know, this quote from Anne Swindell at Risen Motherhood just absolutely nails it. Think about it. The world all around us is constantly praising being busy, being successful, being totally self-sufficient. The pressure is huge. And if you're not out there projecting that image 24/7, it is so easy to feel like you're failing or falling behind. But what if it's not failure? What if the whole way we're looking at this is wrong? Let's introduce a totally new idea here, the hidden season. See, this isn't a time when you're forgotten, not at all. It's actually a super deliberate period where God is doing a deep internal work inside of you that literally no one else can see. You can almost think of it like God's quiet classroom. And this is a really, really important distinction we have to make. On one hand, you have hiding for God's purpose, which is intentional, it's purposeful, it's meant to draw you closer to Him and build you up. But on the other hand, you have isolation, and that's the enemy's counterfeit. It's designed to do the exact opposite, pull you away from community, leave you vulnerable, and ultimately break you down. They can feel so similar sometimes, but believe me, their purpose and the results couldn't be more different. Okay, so what's the point of it all? Why go through all this quiet and feeling obscure? Well, that brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today, the purpose of hiddenness. So why do these seasons even happen? Well, it's a time for God to do some deep root work on your inner life. It's a time to develop and train your character, especially when no one is watching. It's for healing wounds that are just too tender to heal out in public. These seasons also act as a kind of protection, you know? They keep you from premature exposure. And maybe most importantly, they prepare you for a future calling. And here's the thing, this is not some new or weird idea. In fact, it's a pattern you see over and over and over again in the Bible. You look at almost any major biblical figure, and you'll find they went through a long, hidden season before they ever stepped into their public ministry. I mean, let's just take the ultimate example, right? Jesus. For 18 years. Think about that. 18 years. That's a huge part of his life. Between the ages of about 12 and 30, the Bible is basically silent about what he was up to. And like Paul Scanlon points out here, that time was anything but wasted. His growth wasn't being fed by big opportunities or some massive public ministry. Nope. He spent pretty much 30 years in total obscurity, building this incredibly deep, unshakable foundation on the inside, before a single person knew his name in that way. But you know, a hidden season isn't always about preparing for some big future thing. Sometimes it's just about being seen when you are at your absolute lowest. And there's no better story for that than Hagar. I mean, just picture it. She's cast out, she's all alone in the wilderness, feeling totally abandoned and completely forgotten. And right there, in that moment of pure desolation, when she had to have felt more invisible than ever, that's when God shows up. And her response? It's one of the most incredible lines in all of Scripture. You are the God who sees me. It just shows so powerfully that even when we feel like we're in the most remote, forgotten corner of the world, we are never, ever truly unseen. All right, so if this whole season is so purposeful, the big question is, how do we actually navigate it? How do we get through it? So let's shift gears from the why to the how with our next section, Navigating Your Season. Okay, the sources give us 3 really clear practical steps. Step 1, stay where God placed you. Just don't wander off spiritually. Be steadfast. Step 2,
hold firm to Scripture. Because when your feelings are all over the place, the Word is your anchor. It's what's stable. And step 3, resist temptation. The wilderness is, let's be real, a prime spot for the enemy to try and get to you, so you've got to stay rooted.
And really, when you boil it all down, all 3 of those steps depend on one single thing: trust. It's all about trusting that God is in control of every single season. You know, his process for our growth, it almost never looks like what the world calls success. And just learning to be okay with that, to be at peace with his process, that is absolutely key. And I just love this insight from Paul Scanlon. He says these seasons are all about rediscovering your audience of one. It's like it strips away our need for applause, our need for likes, for public approval. It gets us back to focusing on the only audience that truly matters: God himself. And it forces you to ask that gut check question: who am I really doing this for? So that kind of brings us to a moment of personal reflection. If this season really is for development, what do you think God might be trying to build in you right now?
Okay, let's start to pull all these threads together in our last section, because the big takeaway here is that a hidden season is not a punishment. Far from it. It is the promise of preparation.
And this really captures the whole idea perfectly. That wilderness season, it's not about what you can see. It's not about what you can feel. It is the training ground. It's the place where our faith stops relying on our senses and really learns what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. So if you hear nothing else, please hear this. God's hiding of you is not a punishment. It's his mercy. It's his protection. He's keeping you from being pushed out there too soon, making sure that you are spiritually and emotionally ready for whatever is coming next. And let's wrap up with this incredibly powerful thought from Pastor Justice Ajamong. He says, for everyone God uses, he hides for a season. So if you feel hidden right now, just remember you are in some very, very good company. So always remember, your hidden season is not wasted time. It is training time. And that leaves us with just one final question to think about. What are you being prepared for?